Hi, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. A special thank you to my patrons, Acrophobe, Christina, Wild Rose, Lauren Chris, Michael B. Petty, That British Unicorn, Jam Beans, Debbie Elliott, and D. Higgins. So you're probably wondering, I think the quality is a little better. She's looking a little extra crusty in this video. And you are probably right. I am looking a little extra crusty in this video. Partner is amazing. If I haven't raved about him enough, then I think I'm doing something wrong with my life if I haven't raved about him enough. But anyway, he helped me figure out this whole like mirroring situation. And so now I have a much better camera available to me. I hope it's not awful. I hope I don't look like gross and crusty because my makeup is still done for like how I was filming before, which was in 1080 80p. And this is 4K. So let me know if this is better or if it's worse and you're just like, oh God, too much crust. You know, dial it back, you know, like shut it down. Let me know. Another thing I really want to say is thank you to everyone who reached out to me. You guys know who you are. It was very kind of you guys just to like reach out and check in and see how I was doing because I was a little down in the last video. I really am very sorry. I'm like, my mood is kind of, it fluctuates. I wish I could point to something in particular and be like, that's the thing. That's the reason why I'm upset. But fundamentally, I'm just sad. I miss my family. It's been so long. We're like coming up on the year mark of like when the pandemic really became very, very real. And I just don't know. I don't know how to cope with that. It's really like sad to me, but it's also really sucky for everybody else. And I feel like guilty about wallowing in my own sadness, but I also don't know how to not wallow in my sadness. And I want to see my mom. So, you know, that's all it was. There was nothing in particular. I just missed her a little bit extra hard and it came across in my videos. So if you're in the same boat as I am, man, I feel you. Let me know what you're doing to cope with it. Currently, I'm just, I'm binging TV shows. That's all I'm doing. So, you know, it's not the best coping mechanism, but I already pay for Netflix, so might as well. Okay. All right. Let's get into this, shall we? Chantal's had a pretty, very, very extensive week. She's put up a lot of videos. Again, with the lives, I think she's had, what, 3 or 4 lives this week. I could check. I have notes. Fun fact. If you guys ever see me glancing down like this, it's because my notes are somewhere in this vicinity. And so I'm always like checking them to make sure if I've mentioned all the points that I wanted to mention or whatever. And despite how many lives I'm going to be talking about, I think there's still one more that I missed. She did an entire karaoke thing. I just wasn't quick enough to find it, quite honestly, and I didn't see anything like trending about it on Twitter. So I'm guessing it probably wasn't all that interesting. The most interesting live that she had this week was her Get Off My Ass, Dollar Store Rich Lux, something like that. And she was in full Chantal rage mode. So we'll get to it. Okay. I think I might have my order mixed around a little once more. This is not my video. I want to just thank the lovely people of Hater Nation for being so quick and actually like grabbing the video because I would have completely missed it otherwise. And that's why I'm not sure what the order of the videos is. I'm not sure whether she puts up her day in the life vlog style video first or whether she put up her Rage Fest video first. Either way, they're pretty close together though, so I don't really think there's a lot of context that's lost there. For my sakes, I'm going to start with the thing that I enjoyed the most this entire week, and that would be her vlog video. So with that said, let's get into it.
All right, so I'm at home and I have to go back out. I have not eaten today and I don't want to go through a drive-through today, so I want to make a smoothie. I don't want to have to go to the bathroom when I'm out again, and if I eat something a bit heavier, I know that I'll have to go. So just going to make one of my favorite smoothies and bring it with me in my Yeti and go do what I gotta do. bring my smoothie like this. No dairy, so no chance of running to the washroom.
She starts her day off with this smoothie, and in this smoothie she has a dairy-free yogurt. I think it's a coconut-based yogurt alternative. She has coconut water and she has frozen mango. Fundamentally, this is not a particularly nutritious smoothie, right? Just from a nutrition point of view, it's lacking somewhat in fiber. You could up that by adding a few handfuls of spinach in there as well. Mango has some fiber, of course, but not a lot. And the yogurt is not really going to have any fiber, and the coconut water sure as shit doesn't have any fiber. So adding something that has that it's very fiber dense could really help. So like maybe add some mango in there, maybe add some spinach in there, and maybe you can even add an apple. An apple has quite a bit of fiber in there, and it will also add to the flavor of the smoothie. The other problem with this smoothie is that there's no protein in here. Dairy yogurts tend to be a lot higher in protein, whereas the dairy alternative yogurts, the coconut ones, almond ones, almost across the board I've noticed are very high in carbs comparatively and tend to be on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to protein. I think soy is maybe the only exception. So if you don't have anything like that in there, maybe you could take a little bit of extra pain and add, like I said, like a half a block or a quarter block of tofu. She's only making it for one serving, so we put like a quarter or an eighth of a block of tofu. That will really up the protein factor in there, and tofu doesn't taste like anything, especially when it's blended up in a smoothie, so you're not even really going to taste it. It just ends like a little bit more of a creamy texture to your smoothies. And last but not least, this smoothie is very high in carbs from the fruit first and foremost. And while it might be light for her, she's saying that it doesn't hurt her stomach and stuff like that with her IBS-like symptoms that she has due to C. diff. If she has high blood sugar, which I'm not 100% sure because she hasn't been particularly clear, but if she has diabetes, this is a terrible, terrible thing for her to be having because it's going to cause a massive spike and then she's going to have a massive crash. Generally, you want to avoid as many carbs as you possibly can when you are diabetic. You want to eat almost like a keto style lifestyle, right? So high in healthy fats and proteins and low in carbohydrates, whether it's natural carbohydrates or processed sugars, whatever, so that your blood sugar can stay pretty even and you can avoid having those massive spikes that you see in a lot of diabetic people, right? So if she is diabetic, this is genuinely maybe the worst thing that she could have eaten outside of just mainlining sugar.
So what I have here is this multigrain 12-grain bread. Has flax seeds and sunflower seeds, and I have some spinach, and I have this tuna concoction. It has tuna, albacore white, some celery chopped up, and some mayonnaise made with olive oil, salt and pepper, a little bit of onion powder, and that's it. That's what I'm going to eat. I had that smoothie. And now this. And that's it, folks. That's all, folks. I like spinach on a tuna sandwich. I discovered that when I ordered from that place. Booster Juice. There you go. Nice tuna on whole grain.
2 quick points in quick succession. First, she's covering up her double chin again. I thought she loved her double chin. So what's up with that? And then second, she made this lunch as a tuna salad on top of, some whole grain bread, and she's got a little bit of spinach in there. I think lunch looks great. I think that she should up the veggie factor in there a little bit. What I do when I make tuna salad, chicken salad, anything of that sort is I will cut up bell peppers and I'll chop them up pretty fine. I'll add those in there. I'll add celery in there. And then so by the time I'm done making my tuna salad, my chicken salad, by weight, it's half veggie. It doesn't stay fresh for quite as long, but it's good for 2 days. And I will have it, partner and I will both have it one day in a wrap or something, another day on top of an actual salad. And it's tasty and it's really healthy. So she could have done a lot more when it comes to veggies, but even just ignoring that, it's still for her especially a really, really healthy meal. Really happy she had this, so good on her for that.
Okay, so finishing my grocery haul, I thought I only got one bag. Sea salt, kettle chips. Now I like these because the ingredients when I checked online were just like potatoes, canola oil, sea salt, like very basic ingredients. And then I got the half sodium or low sodium one.
Why chips? Why does she continue to get chips when she knows it's a trigger food for her? I can understand if you are well into your recovery and you think that you can handle having trigger foods in the house. But when you're in the start of a recovery, maybe don't try and like actively shoot yourself in the foot, yeah?
So I'm dealing with my grandmother in the hospital, as you probably know. She's doing better than she was, but it's hard not being able to see her. Like I can talk to her on the phone, but not being able to see her right now is, so we're just preparing for her discharge and everything and working out family affairs and had some errands to run and stuff like that. So, yeah, but this is a weekly grocery haul and I don't want to, order out if I'm having that craving. I don't want to order out. So order snacks from the gas station or whatever. So I got these. I love gummy candy. These are actually really good. Peach rings, I've had them. They only have 3 grams of sugar for the whole bag. They're very high in fiber. They have 17 grams of fiber. That's 61% of your daily intake of fiber. Yeah, and they're keto friendly, plant-based. I'm sure you've heard of Smart Sweets.
So those Smart Sweets are pretty much laxatives. If you guys have ever had them, you'll know. They're pretty good. They taste almost entirely like regular candies do, but they're made with sugar alternatives rather than sugars. And those sugar alternatives have a pretty negative impact on your digestive tract. A really good example of a sugar substitute that does this is erythritol, which is my personal favorite, to be frank. It's the one that has the least weird aftertaste. I'm very sensitive to those for some reason. So like Splenda, Sweet and Low, I can't. I hate them so much that it like literally, I would rather just not eat or drink something that has them than even to try it. Same thing with monk fruit, same thing with stevia. Erythritol and allulose to a certain extent are the only sweeteners I've found so far where I don't have this issue. But both of them, for me at least, cause me digestive distress. I'll get like cramps, I get bloating, I get gassy. TMI a little bit, but all of those things happen when I have that. And it's been pretty widely observed, at least from the literature that I've seen for erythritol. Anyway, this candy is essentially made up entirely of those forms of sweeteners. And so they're going to cause her so much stomach pain, especially since she's already saying that she's going to, you can eat the whole bag, which means she will eat the whole bag. I have them. I get them myself every once in a while. And what I will do is I will eat a couple, right? Just 2 pieces. It's not about the fact that I can't eat it guilt-free. It's the fact that I shouldn't be eating it because it's going to cause my stomach pain later on. And quite frankly, I think that's a lot more intuitive than just eating an entire bag because you can.
I know you guys can appreciate that, but just sharing my day with you is really nice than just only doing the mukbang sometimes. So, but I will do some mukbangs, some themed ones, just some, impromptu ones. It just depends because I do, my view is changing the more that, I'm studying intuitive eating and, in therapy and whatnot about, saying fat people should not eat on camera. That right there is such a harmful phrase for somebody recovering from an eating disorder or somebody recovering from just years of fat shaming in society and things like that. Because, it sounds dramatic, but we are really put down a lot. And we have that attitude a lot. Like, that's why I would go back and forth from mukbangs. I would think maybe I shouldn't be doing them. But I don't think there's anything wrong with me eating something. You know, if it's okay for the thin people to do it, then it's okay for me. It's not like I gorge myself to the point of being sick on camera. You know, I'm usually just eating a meal, and sometimes I overeat, and you know what? That's okay.
All right. This irritates me. She does this all the time where she says, well, thinner people do this, so I should be able to do this. You are not the same person as like a Eugenia Cooney. She needs to eat whatever she possibly can to put on weight. If you guys know anything about Eugenia Cooney, you'll know what I'm talking about. Chantal, however, is experiencing severe health problems because of her weight. She needs a CPAP machine to help sleep at night because otherwise she might stop breathing and die. She has a severe fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which if it progresses to the level of cirrhosis, right, like basically just death of her liver, she will not be able to get a liver transplant. I don't know what she'll do in that situation. She's got blood clots in her lungs. She's potentially diabetic. She doesn't have a gallbladder. And you know, that's just the stuff that's like quote unquote diagnosed right now. I guarantee you she's going to have hip problems, knee problems, ankle problems. If she ever loses weight, she's going to have loose skin and pain from that. You know, things like getting fungal infections, bacterial infection in your folds become much more problematic. Getting urinary tract infections get much more problematic. And oh, I completely forgot to mention, she's had a full hysterectomy as a complication due to her weight, right? I mean, she might have had them if she was skinnier as well, but the probability of it being weight related are very high. So all in all, I don't understand why she has this weird notion that she is the same as every other skinny person or every other fat person eating on camera. You are not. Your medical history sets you apart. If you were 600 pounds and the picture perfect of health, even then I would say, hey, don't be gaining weight because you're still doing like God knows what kind of damage to your knees, your ankles, your hips, right? But then I could maybe understand it. Right? I could maybe get behind why she's saying this because she's perfectly quote unquote healthy, right? Why are people still coming after her? But you're not. You have a veritable host of problems that you're currently ignoring and avoiding that are a direct consequence of your morbid obesity. So no, you don't get to eat everything on camera the way that skinnier mukbangers do because they are not at this point. I mean, like, girl, you are nearing death's door. And I don't say this with any amount of joy. It does not bring me happiness to say that. But you are in such terrible state of health that sometimes I watch a video of hers and I wonder if she slipped and fell down the stairs, would that put too much stress on her heart? Would it like give out? That's the kind of thing that I worry about with her. And it would bring me absolutely 0% joy if something happened to her. Like truly, well and truly. Like it doesn't bring me any happiness to think that someone could pass away because of that. Because I genuinely think she's a very sad, sad person. And it doesn't bring me happiness to think that a sad person died a sad death. Anyway, next.
Victoria! So, I was just pissed. I was just annoyed because I was going through my comments. Hi, Miss Hellraiser. That's what happens when I allow comments. No more. I'm just joking. And it's just like every single thing I like eat. You know, I was just annoyed with that. Like people just like, it doesn't matter what I eat. Apparently, anytime I eat anything, as a fat person, I'm killing myself. You know, it's just so annoying.
Okay, Chantal gets really, really mad when people talk about what she does on camera, but a simple solution to that is just to not put it on camera. She doesn't have to be making food-related content, or at least not in the way that she does. She can cook, she can do cook with me videos, she can do vlogs, she can just talk about her day, tell stories about her life. She chooses to sit on camera and eat on camera, and then gets mad when people criticize the fact that she is eating on camera. Now, you can tell us that you cannot criticize me about eating on camera, but a simpler solution would be, rather than trying to change the whole world and your entire orbit in YouTube, is just to say, I will not eat on camera. I will do other things on camera, especially because she's admitted in the past that her like health journey videos do just as well as her mukbangs.
Anyways. It's true, Bailey, you know. Dollar store rich looks is that friggin' 50, 60-year-old man who, hi Mike, is absolutely disgusting and vile. And, that's probably their troll account now. Looks like the thing from Enter Sandman. So, fat shames every day, but weighs 327. You weigh 327 and you're going to talk shit about me, you idiot?
Okay. I have a video on Chantal and age shaming coming up pretty soon, so I'm going to reserve most of my thoughts and opinions regarding her comments on calling Miss Hussey 50 to 60-year-old then, right? I'm gonna keep that for that video. All I will say here is that even if Miss Hussey is 327 pounds, they are not on death's door. You are. And even if they were also on death's door, I don't see how that changes your situation at all. So, what is your point here, ma'am? Wouldn't you think that someone who experienced the same things as you, who knows the perils of being morbidly obese, would have more of an idea about what they're saying than someone who's never experienced it? Like, you want Tyra Banks to sit here and just say you're fat? What would that do? How would that help? It won't. But I can come here and be like, hey, maybe add more vegetables to your tuna salad that will keep you more satiated because, hey, I've been there. I've made that tuna salad. I've eaten that tuna salad. And I've experienced the hunger when that tuna salad wasn't satiating. Because I know how you think. Because I used to think like that. Isn't that much more helpful? Aren't you always going on and on and on about like, it's not constructive criticism? This is constructive criticism. Fat people who have experienced this, who have the same lived experience as you, people who've dealt with addiction, who have the same lived experience as you, can talk about this stuff. People who have no experience with it, are in no way experts, and have never even had the lived experience, sitting on here being skinny minis telling you, hey, you're fat, lose weight, that is non-constructive criticism. So when she comes at me and she says, hey, you're not giving me constructive criticism, I am. You're choosing not to listen. You're purposefully being blind. And then saying, well, you're fat, so you can't give me any constructive criticism. That's just you whining. That's all it is. That's all you're doing.
I hate people. Anyways, that's what they remind me of, a dollar store rich lux. With their dollar store wigs. There's a man who's 60. He weighs 327 and he makes fun of me all the time. And I'm like, he's almost my weight. And he's 60.
Hurry up and die, old man.
Oh my god.
See, now I'm the one who can get in trouble.
Yeah, no, you're the one. Oh well, I don't give a shit.
See, here's the thing. I don't care if people get pissed at me. So I will say horrible shit to people.
Okay, Pete. So you feel comfortable saying that to Miss Hussey, saying, why don't you die already? How would you feel if I said the same thing to Chantal? Chantal, you're a burden on the medical system of Canada. You abuse the emergency room all the time. You're in and out of the hospital. You put a strain on your family. You put a strain on Pete. You can barely take care of yourself. You're on a host of medications and you can barely breathe for yourself. Why don't you just hurry up and die? Is that nice of me to say? Was that kind of me to do? Is that okay to do? Why is it okay for you to do it then? Right? Chantal's not the exception. If she's a person, then Miss Hussey's a person. I think that Chantal's a terrible person. You think that Miss Hussey's a terrible person. But if it's not okay for me to say that about Chantal, it's not okay for you to say that about Miss Hussey. Especially in today's day and age, when people are literally dropping around us like flies. This is unacceptable. And for you to have said it and to just be like, kiki it off, like, haha, I'll say the things that she doesn't want to. It doesn't make you brave. It doesn't make you courageous. It makes you a piece of shit. And quite frankly, any sympathy and empathy and care that I had for you, like, diminishes by the day. you proving yourself to be the kind of person that Chantal would be attracted to, because it's like flies on crap.
Or, I found out tonight, I won't say from who, Life of a Free Gremlin, because she looks like a she looks like E.T. wearing a wig, went to a hotel with this friggin' little squirt reaction wannabe during COVID. And then they talk about me driving alone, so kiss my ass. You can go be a friggin' hoe with a little squirt reaction channel, but I'm not allowed to go do my videos. I don't ever want to hear it again. Ever again. You're not, like, such hypocrites. Hi, Spinster! And I'm only saying Life of a Free Gremlin because she body shames me all the fucking time for content. I can lose weight. I ain't gonna look like a gremlin when I lose weight.
And Chantal, I wouldn't talk about being a hoe. If half of your stories are to be believed, you'd go down on a person for a half-eaten Burger King. So maybe reserve judgment, first and foremost. Second of all, as far as you looking great, that you can lose the weight, but Callie will always look like a quote-unquote gremlin. Ma'am, if you lost weight at this point, the amount of reconstructive surgery you would need to look like something resembling a human being is actually frightening. So I would really check myself if I was in your position. And I'm sorry if I'm coming across as being a little bit extra harsh. I'm sorry if I seem like I'm really coming at her, but this stream really rubbed me the wrong way, especially after that comment that Pete's made about Miss Hussey. That is an unacceptable thing for you to say, and I'm not feeling particularly charitable to either one of them right now. As for Shane and Callie meeting, I don't know the specifics of that. I have no idea if they tested before or if they tested after. I have no idea if they quarantined before or if they quarantined after. I don't know the specifics of that conversation. I don't know the specifics of their time together. I don't know any of that crap. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that. The difference between that and you, Chantal, is that I do see what you do when you go out, because you put the entirety of your streams for the world to consume, right? So whereas I have one picture, one snapshot from that time that Callie and Shane spent together, right? You, I see a lot more of, and the more I see of you, the less I like of you. Because your blatant flaunting of rules, your poor hygiene, your lack of care and consideration for essential workers is all over your channel. Okay?
Hi, Jenny. I don't watch it. I just hear things. I'm killing myself. Shut up. How do people have the nerve to come in here and say that when I'm, like, doing what I have to do? I'm seeing a dietitian. I'm seeing a therapist. I'm doing things. You don't live my life 24/7. Everyone has their problems. Like, because I eat something on camera doesn't mean I'm killing myself. Believe it or not, fat people have a right to eat shit that skinny people eat.
And all this nonsense garbage about her being intuitive now. And, she's just listening to her body and eating based on what her body is telling her. And all of these blah, 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 blah. You are eating exactly the same as you were eating before. There is 0% change in your behavior. Like 0%. The only thing you do now is that you also lecture us about eating intuitively while you're eating garbage. You'll sit there shoveling piles and piles of actual garbage into your mouth while telling me how much better you are now, how you're listening to your body. Your body is the body of an addict saying, "Give me my drug of choice." And you respond to it by saying, "I guess it knows better than I do. I guess my body knows better than the medical doctors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eat all this garbage because that's what I need right now, When I'm this close to liver failure, that's what I need. I need more garbage, in fact.
And I don't watch these idiots. Do you think I actually watch these idiots? No.
The internet has a literally endless amount of content.
Yeah, exactly.
Go watch something you enjoy watching.
No, because they think they're gonna get rich and get a Rolls Royce. How do you even put Rolls Royce on your friggin' wish list? Are you on medication?
I mean,
talking about like fat shaming this and able shaming that and all of her other ridiculous garbage ist language that she uses, where she likes to attach ist to everything. You are ableist, you are fat phobic, you are whatever. That wasn't an ist, but you know what I mean, right? Where she puts everybody into a category and she talks about how terrible they are. Here you are saying, go take your meds in this derogatory manner where you are reducing somebody down to their mental health. You take a fistful of medications every single day. I would really step off.
I never have.
I don't get the whole community who should be eradicated from friggin' YouTube, and hopefully one day they will, of people who fat shame the same fucking 4 fat girls when they're fat too, if not fatter, or almost just as fat, but because they're, 50 pounds lighter, that gives them the right, when they're eating the same shit? Get a life. Seriously.
You're like sitting there and saying, well, 50 pounds, you think 50 pounds makes you better than me? Yeah, it does a little bit. It does make them a little bit better than you, at least in terms of weight management. Because for you, losing 50 pounds is the difference between liver damage and no liver damage. And the fact that you can't manage it, if 50 pounds is so little, then drop the 50 pounds and then we'll talk, right? Until then, don't go be disparaging like people about being 50 pounds less than you. 50 pounds is like a whole ass 8-year-old, okay?
Look down on R. Kelly.
Look down on yourselves, because you obviously have a lot of problems.
Kevin
Well,
Spacey,
46.
look down on that.
That
guy
person, he
that
looks
guy's still-
60. He looks 60.
Kevin Spacey.
Fine, they look 60. What's your point? You look 500. Is it accurate? No. Is it relevant? Also no.
Great.
What kind of career do you think you're gonna have? Like, just making fun of overweight people on the internet. Like, we're gonna wait till your channel grows, and then we're gonna report it again. Since I already got you taken down once, you're lucky I don't bother with it, because I definitely could. We're gonna wait till your channel grows, if it does, because it doesn't look very good for you right now. And get it taken down for bullying and harassment. So go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to end it on this point here. The rest of this is just her continuing to rage at the camera and spewing the absolute hot liquid garbage that is voice from her mouth. So I'm gonna just like not even bother with that. Quite frankly, I don't have the energy, and it's already late at night and it's Sunday, and I do want to sleep at some point because unlike Chantal, I do have an actual set schedule and I do have to wake up pretty early for actual work. You know, the thing that most people do to survive in the world. What you just did right now, by the way, is against YouTube's terms of service. You threatened another person on camera, right? I mean, Pete's already did that before, but that technically it isn't his channel, so I guess you can maybe skirt the rules on that one. But this right here, you're threatening Miss Hussey's channel. And you really think you're that untouchable? You really think they're going to care about your, what, not even 100,000 K? They just demonetized Onision, and he was making them a ton of money. So they don't care about him, they don't care about you. You're a nobody to them. And you're right, I am less of a nobody than you are, right? As far as YouTube is concerned, I am not even half a grain of sand in the desert to them. But I also don't care about losing my channel. Fun fact, I have a full-time job. I've got a partner who also has a full-time job. I'm careful about managing my finances. I am not dependent on this. I do this as a hobby, and I appreciate the fact that I am compensated for it because I want to make this channel better. I want to do the best that I possibly can. But I don't rely on it because I know how unreliable it is, and I am a functional adult, unlike you. Okay? So maybe be slightly less cavalier when it comes to your YouTube channel. Because if you don't have this, then you either have to ask the Canadian government or your parents for assistance to continue to put garbage in your mouth. All right? Next. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, but Here for the Tea actually popped into her chat, and she was in her chat talking about how she sides with Chantal on this, and apparently DCMediaGirl is like boring and bad and whatever. I just want to remind you that Here for the Tea is also the same person that spent a really great chunk of her time defending actual literal monster John Kotkian, okay? So her judgment when it comes to people is terrible. Like, it's pretty bad. So I don't care what you have to say, ma'am. Your judgment isn't worth shit. All right, she has another live at this point. It's called Hi Guys, and there's not much happening in this live either. It's basically the same garbage that she's talking about when it comes to intuitive eating as before. She sits in two places, basically once in her bedroom, then she goes down the stairs, and then she continues to sit at her kitchen counter. So in basically like 4 hours that this live goes on, she moves twice. So yay. She also says a bunch of stuff about how she isn't binging and like how the program is definitely working. You aren't following any of the tenets of the program, and you're not binging because you're currently giving into every urge that you have. Technically, binging is generally resulting from restriction. And I guess if you look at it from that point of view, if you give into every single urge to eat all of the garbage that you want and live your best trash to your life, then yeah, I guess it makes sense that you wouldn't be binging. The technical definition of a binge she meets in pretty much all of her mukbangs, so I'm not even going to get into that. The other thing that she says is that Negs is a very unbiased anti-Hater Nation channel, which is quite frankly ridiculous if any of you have actually seen his coverage. He's like one step away from being a crazy person, so whatever. So she'll side with anyone. She'll give voice to anyone as long as they're in her court, not really understanding that these are not the kind of people that you should be associating with. And I cannot believe I have to say this, Chantal, but take a page out of Amber's book. All right? I'm pretty sure it was Shani for Christ who gave her money, and she says, thank you for the $5, but you're a racist piece of garbage. Thank you, next. And that's how you handle garbage people. You don't side with them and, give them a voice on your platform, because then it means you're co-signing their garbage behavior. It makes you even more of a garbage person than you already are. But once more, crap flies. Whatever. Next.
Hey guys, hey. How are you? I'm trying this out, this new setup for my mukbang videos. Might be too far away. If that's the case, next video, I'll switch the camera settings around. So no fear, no fret.
Okay, this is her food truck mukbang. She's essentially ordered a bunch of food from a food truck. She has a new setup. I will say she's looking like particularly awful in this video, and I don't mean that in terms of just like taking shots at her because she's fat. She looks like she's swollen a little bit in this video. She looks, just the framing of it makes her kind of look even more like squat than she normally does. Something about the green screen isn't working. It's doing funny things to her hair. All in all, not the best look. The food honestly just looks kind of unappetizing and soggy, but I don't know how much I can blame wherever she ordered this from, like how much I can blame that on them, because food right now is being delivered, and a lot of food is meant to be eaten hot and fresh right then and there. It's not really meant to travel, so I don't know. But then again, if I was getting food delivered to my house, I wouldn't be ordering things that required, like such deep amount of deep frying, because that sort of stuff always tends to get gross and congealy in just a little bit of time. But I'm also not the kind of person who likes to consume 5,000 calories every day, so what do I know? Maybe she does want to mainline grease every single day and thinks that it's perfectly delicious.
Question number 1. Why have you never tried swimming as a form of low-packed exercise in your health journey? I see that you've tried walks, going to the gym, weight training, but never swimming. The comment is longer, but that's basically the question. I have tried swimming at the gym when I was a member at the gym. But with COVID, the gyms are closed. And plus, I just don't feel comfortable going to a gym to exercise during COVID. And another reason is I hate the gym. And another reason is, just being honest, another reason is public pools freak me out. Oh, here you go. Beauty bite. That chipotle sauce is banging. Gyms, like public pools, just gross me out. I think I've said this before, but you're swimming in everybody else's like dead skin cells, body hair, pee, band-aids.
I think the reason she doesn't go swimming is because taking off a wet swimming suit can be a pretty difficult experience. I told you guys that like a little while ago, basically not this past summer, but the summer before that, I'd had some health complications. And because of that, during my health complications, my hormonal imbalance, I'd gained a lot of weight. And I can tell you that at that point, some stuff was hard. I had pain in my legs. I had sciatic pain in my legs. I had just generally overall like a lot of issues happening. And I had limited mobilities at some point, like not all over, but like I couldn't walk for longer than like, what was it, like 15, 20 minutes at a time, which was pretty sucky because like now I'm getting back into like shape and I can do more things again. I can take hikes every single weekend. I might be a little bit sore, but that's like the worst thing I'm going to experience, right? When you have that kind of limited mobility, that wet swimming suit that's clinging to your body, trying to take it off will be hard. She's probably not going to be wearing a 2-piece. She's probably going to be wearing a 1-piece because Chantal, no matter what she tells you, is pretty self-conscious. So she's going to want to wear something that's going to cover as much of her as possible. And when that gets wet, peeling it off your skin can be a challenge. And doing it in the swimming pool changing rooms where people can see you struggling is going to be even more challenging. So highly doubt that she's not going because she doesn't like pools, because she thinks they gross her out. She's never shown any disgust towards being a disgusting person in general. I think it's more that.
And thank you everybody for your questions. Do you have any career goals separate to YouTube? Is there any areas of work study that interest you? So, I love being a YouTuber. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here because honestly, when I'm bored with something or not happy, I do whatever I can to get out of it. When I was at jobs that I didn't like or didn't seem fair pay-wise, I did everything I could. You know, night and day, just applied for jobs. Did what I could to get jobs and got out of there. So I do love doing YouTube. I want to get, as I see this as my career, I want to eventually progress in this field, maybe learn new skills in editing. Like I said, after COVID, do some travel vlogs, try different things. The possibilities are endless when you turn on a camera and film. You know, you could do whatever. And I love that freedom. I love that I'm my own boss. Being an Aries don't do well having a, you know, we like to be our own boss. So
Chantal has progressed absolutely 0% in any avenue of her life in the past 3 years while she's been on YouTube. She has learned no new skills. She has put no extra effort into her channel. Literally, her channel has stagnated. So I have no idea why she thinks that now will be different as opposed to the past 3 years. Things just aren't different because you say you want them to be different. You have to make them different. You have to work at them to be different.
Did your doctor give you an exercise plan? So happy you're doing well. No. They did not. Maureen, we're just basically focusing on, you know, the intuitive eating and the, I mean, we're not, they don't, if you mean the therapy, they're not really there to tell you to exercise and stuff like that.
2 more points here, and then we'll move on to the next video. First, Her doctors apparently told her that let's not worry about exercise right now, which actually makes absolutely 0% sense, especially if they're prescribed to the notion of intuitive eating, because a really big principle of intuitive eating is joyful movement, as it's called. So she's supposed to be trying to find things that are fun for her and engaging in them. I personally think that she only listens to about like a fourth of what the doctor says. Her dietitian, who by the way is not a doctor, she only listens to about a fourth of what her dietitian says, and that's assuming that the dietitian is real and not just, you know, some inspirational intuitive eating post that she read on Instagram and is now prescribing them to a book. This is like beginning to sound more and more like the time where she was like, I'm going to do like a high vibrational diet, where it turns out that she didn't even read a book about that. She just watched a YouTube video of somebody else who was following this diet after reading the book. Like, it's starting to give me those kinds of vibes.
For sure, keeping busy helps you take your mind off food, and having structure. I do need some structure in my life, but it just like bores me and it never works out.
And the second thing is, any program can work if you work the program. If you're not willing to put in the work from your end, no program is ever going to provide you with enough. Ever. And that's the truth for any situation. Anyway, next. Okay, this video is pretty short, at least for me, for what I have to say. Normally, I would go more in depth with this, but quite frankly, she's irritating me. I've recorded this video of mine in 4K. I don't know how long it's going to take to buffer, and quite frankly, I'm tired, don't have the energy for any more of her nonsense. She eats a bunch of garbage. She shoves a bunch of tacos into her mouth. They're all soggy. They're all disgusting. She smears a half of it all over her mouth. And she does all of this, by the way, while talking about intuitive eating and how good HelloFresh is for you, and how, you know, she's stressed out and she's like eating because apparently like it takes her mind off of her stress. But it's not stress eating, okay? That's a very different thing. Eating when you're stressed to take your mind off of the thing that's stressing you is not the same thing as emotionally eating. Don't you know? That's a very different thing. Those are completely separate entities. Sometimes with her, I don't know how her brain works. A thing I really found funny about this video is she talks about how she's foodie beauty after all, and she like likes having like delicious like new cuisines and trying new things while she's sitting there eating like Doritos Locos Tacos or whatever they're called, and she's literally eaten this like 400 times before. There's nothing delicious, new, or like even trendy about this. It's just a garbage taco made for people who are having the late night munchies. God, come on, girl. And chia pudding is absolutely delicious. You just have to know how to make it. You would know that if you watched a couple of videos and tried a couple of recipes, rather than making it one time, deciding it's health food, disgusting, and then chucking the whole bag out like you're wont to do. Anyway, next. This is another live that she does. It's long. Again, she sits pretty much in the same place. She like sits up and then she lies down and all that junk. It's not all that interesting. Pete's is there again, also being a garbage monster like he generally is. She gets a nosebleed. Again, no one really seems particularly concerned about the fact that she has a nosebleed, despite the fact that she's a woman in very precarious health, and nosebleeds can be a sign of hemorrhaging. So, you know, all that happens. I wish I could say something more about it, but literally there was nothing else happening in this video that I care to talk about. And my throat's getting dry and I don't have a water bottle. So, anyway, next. All right, this is her eating from Eastside Mario's, which she has said is the Canadian version of Olive Garden. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have I have eating restrictions. I have dietary restrictions that are in place for me. That means I can't eat everywhere all the time. It's not a matter of preference. I simply can't do it. So I've never eaten at Eastside Mario's. I've been to Olive Garden a couple of times. I've not enjoyed it, but once more, it's mostly because my dietary restrictions make it really difficult for me to order stuff from there. So I don't know if it's good or bad. That's basically the entire premise of what I'm trying to say. The lasagna looks like something that was once lasagna and then spent 30 hours slowly congealing. So I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's garbage. Who knows? Not Chantal's taste buds with how much workout they've been getting with garbage food. So, you know. She talks about the story about when she got stuck getting out of Shotgun in a car when she'd gone on her Katima like team building tour thing, whatever, in Canada. And she talks about how she always called shotgun and she wanted to sit up front, and there was a girl that ate garlic hummus and it made her feel really sick, and she's claustrophobic, so she sits up front every time. She always had shotgun. I can say a lot about that, but all I'm going to say right now, just to be as succinct as possible, is you remember when she said she was like a happy, bubbly, happy-go-lucky type of person in her first Katima video? These are not the actions of a easy, happy-go-lucky, bubbly type of a person. These are the actions of a controlling bully who wants what they want, and if they don't get it, they have a giant hissy fit, which is essentially what she describes when she talks about how the guy asked her if she could sit in the back one time. I mean, no consideration for the fact that, hey, maybe he's getting car sick, maybe the hummus smell is making him nauseous. I've been sitting up front this whole time. Maybe, I can let someone else go. And no, I don't care that she was young. You don't grow a conscience when you're a teenager. You have a conscience or you don't have a conscience. You either consider people or you don't consider people. And Chantal doesn't generally tend to consider people. It's not her go-to option. She tends to be fairly self-absorbed and fairly narcissistic in most of her behaviors. What her primary concern is how it affected her, not how she affected other people. And that's why she didn't even consider that the other person could have legitimate reasons for wanting to sit up front. Anyway, as karma goes, she got stuck getting out of the car and no one came to help her. I can't possibly imagine why. That's all I have to say about this. Sorry if it's a little bit angrier. I'm very tired and I'm very irritated with her. I'm generally irritated with Chantal, which is not the same as saying that I am not also entertained by Chantal. I watch news a lot. I am frequently entertained and concerned and intrigued by the news, but I still will continue watching even if I'm upset, right? It's kind of how I feel about Chantal. She's entertaining, but in a depressing, irritating way. She's entertaining in the same way that Flava Flav was interesting back in the day, kind of exasperated entertainment. The difference is that every once in a while she'll do or say something that crosses the line from irritated, entertained to actually really, really mad at her. And I'm still kind of really mad at her about the anti-Semitism thing. And it's like she keeps piling on, like she's making a garbage lasagna, right? And each layer in the garbage lasagna is more disgusting than the last. And then by the time she's done, it's going to be so gross that anyone who catches a mere whiff of it is going to want to vomit, and then she's going to let it sit and congeal and rot for 30 hours. So I don't know where I was going with this metaphor. It got away from me. I'm tired. I love you guys. Please, I'm gonna go. Goddamn, do I hope that she doesn't do so many lives. I think she's just doing it at this point to be mean. She knows how much I hate them and she's like, aha, I'm gonna do more of them. Screw you, losers. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, you can give me a thumbs down. I don't care. I'm totally okay with it. I'm so tired of living life like this. Subscribe down below if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell and hit all if you want to know when I upload any more videos, all videos. I might still be having an existential crisis, but we'll never know. You'll never know, really. I'll know. You won't know, though, if you don't click that button. So click the button. Just do it. I know a ton of you watch and you don't click the button. That's kind of rude. Did you know that? It is. I said so, so it is. That's how the rules work now. If you say that a thing is true, then it's true. Screw reality. Where was I? Oh, right. I've got all my social medias linked down below. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. No, I said that. I've got all my social medias linked down below. I've got Instagram where I've got food stuff and life stuff, and it's lacking in both. And I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Probably sometime. But hey, I'm entertaining sometimes. So, check that out. I've got Twitter where I'm a little bit toxic and a little bit petty. Actually, I'm a lot toxic and I'm a lot petty on there. But I'm also the easiest reached there. So if you want to talk to me, that's where you can do it. I'm not great. I don't know how to unlog my DMs so people can send me a DM. Right now, I think only I can send people DMs and then they can respond or something. I got to figure that out. I'll do some Googling. Don't worry about it. And I've got Patreon. If you like the job that I'm doing and you'd like me to continue and you want to see more growth in my channel, like the better quality, hopefully that's making me look extra crusty, then, you know, consider tossing a few coins in my direction. I genuinely do use all of the funds generated both from my Patreon and from my channel as a whole towards buying equipment for the channel. I don't really keep any of it. It's like a self-funding hobby. I figured if I can do that, then it's like worth the amount of time, energy, and effort I put into it. Otherwise, it's like I lose time and money doing it, which, I mean, I guess it's fine if it brings me joy, but I'm pretty sure that Chantal's actively giving me gray hair. Anyway, if you want to see me with less gray hair, because some of you told me you guys actually like my hair, so if you guys want to see me with less gray hair, consider tossing a few coins in my direction so I can buy better software so it can hide all the gray hairs from you. Anyway, I don't know. This video is a hot mess. I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. Peace.